All right.
This boat's actually pretty nice shape, huh?
Yeah.
Some of these boats are roached.
Yeah,
I like to keep this shit kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So last weekend we did pods.
Yeah.
And we used the North Tuning Guide.
Yeah.
And we set it to base.
Yeah.
It's on the thing, but we set it to the AP base.
Yeah.
And that's upside down on the on the head sail. And first day
On
was
the second day.
No, first both days. Both days battens were upside down.
But you said use different sets of jibs. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because Saturday we used the old sails. And then
Sunday quite windy.
It was windy. Yeah.
It's supposed to lighten up and it didn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was nice actually.
So
yeah.
We scratched them out a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah. And so on Saturday we used the old sails. On Sunday we used these sails. And I think between the first and second race we went up one.
Yeah,
on a
one step or one turn, one left.
For
the right, we went 1.5 on one and
one and a half, two, I think.
Yeah.
Is what we did, and that's where they're still at.
Got it.
So it's rigged for heavy right now.
Yeah, well,
we perceive
north heavy.
We perceive to be heavy. Yeah, and I think what you're gonna find, and this is pretty funny. Like my buddy Will, who's a bay pilot in San Francisco, has him 105. And he's like, anybody in San Francisco like under 10, like maybe the guides are right, but after that's like you can't have the rig tight enough. Like, if you're putting the backstay on and you're smashing the backstay on with the main flat, like the rig needs to be freaking on.
Okay.
Because if the headstay is doing this, you are going slow, 100%. And I can tell you're by walking the boat, like the rig is pretty loose.
Okay.
Right. And so I think that's one thing that like I found in a lot of this stuff is like in the light breeze when you're really struggling for power. You know, that is when you really want the rig to be light and you're playing with 1 turn, 2 turns. If it's blowing 16, 17 knots, it's like I'd put the rig on as tight as it'll freaking go. Because you're like smashing the backstay on, travelers down, you're hiking hard.
Yes.
Like that's when the rig should be tight and the headstay should be straight. Okay. And this jib is pretty powerful. So really,
especially when the battens upside down.
well, right. So this has always been my feeling. Like every time I've seen like a quantum jib or an arch jib, they're all like they're pretty flat off the left and they're relying on a lot of sag to get the boats to go upwind when it's blowing like 6, and then they're tuning them up to go uprange. That's why I think these north guides and stuff are having you sail the rigs pretty light because the entries of the sails are pretty shallow, which means you sail sag, which gets the knuckle, which this jib is already pretty powered up and knuckled up. So I think you have to sail like that's what I was saying like with Bucky's boat and also we kind of come to the conclusion like the reasons modified quantum guide, whether or not it's we've kind of used it as a stepping point and then it's like one step up and then once you're basically over like 12 or 14 knots when the boat's like fully powered, it's like maybe it's like 5 turns time.
Okay, so don't be shy basically.
Yeah, and I'd say like and basically if you're putting the backstay on like at all like past like maybe 5 or 6 pumps, whatever, then and the upper shrouds start to go loose, that means you're basically just bending the mast in half and you're not actually getting any headstay tension. So I think that's the mentality that I am trying to instill a little bit is that like these are kind of Seattle flat water, headstay straight, like where the quantums are very San Francisco, designs, and the north stuff is like who knows, like there's like 3 or 4 different whatevers and different ranges and
we got 100 of these in stock, we got 100 of those in stock, and
and I think that those are good starting points. But I think going back to the, you guys all sailed that J33 and stuff, and it's like when it got windy, like you need the backstay on, and the rig needs to be tight, and the check stays need to be on, and like you're really trying to like get the headstay straight. And once the headstay is kind of in the ballpark and it's not bouncing around, then I think you're doing well. And then downrange when it's like light wind and like having the sag and the power and using the halyards and all that stuff is quite good.
That's where we need. Well, we need a lot of help all over the board. Just treat us as a second-year sailor.
But no, and that's fine. And I think that it's very very like. In my mind, like I don't sail J105s, but you got to sail with these people. And there's like looking at the guides, and it's like I think being a little bit more heads out and like actually look like, oh, the jib looks a little knuckled up. What does that mean? It means that the head stays too soft. And if the jib's too knuckled up, it means they bring the rig on a little bit, and then everything's going to come along.
Okay, gotcha. So now then, before we head out, let's tune this to your bait load?
Yeah, well, I think what we should do is we should go out. Let's just see what it looks like when we go out.
Okay.
What it's at, and then we can go. Okay, well, the headstay looks good. This and that, and then we can maybe stop, turn around, down, whips and turns on. It's only blowing 5, 6, so I think it's worth going out and looking at it. Looking at the headstay sags. I think what you're going to battle with more is the bottom of the range, and then once it's windy, it's a J105. I think that's really quite easy to sail when it's blowing 10, 12.
Let's go organic way. Look at it. Look at it. What should we be doing? Yeah, because we were definitely that was.
Oh, and those jib leads on that thing, or don't look at those. Okay. Those jib leads are like whatever. Clues on all these sails are all over the map as far as like because there's no like class leech length. There's just a class LP. So the clue can be up, down, left, right, as long. So there's like a left length and an LP and then some girths, but there's no leech length. So there's never. It's not like all the sails are exactly the same. So there's just trimming it pretty evenly. Sure.
Yeah, so that clue can be like move in a big circle.
Oh yeah, and all that stuff. So they can be anywhere in this like box. So that'll drive the lead forward after whatever. And I remember like from the quantums whatever the Bucky had, like the leads were quite a ways out, and that's partially because the sails are new, so they're bigger. And the clues maybe a little bit higher. So
they don't have a foot constraint on these.
I think it's LP. It's just a linear the distance from the clue to the headstay. Okay. So like you have a sail that's like measures in the clues way up there.
Yeah, you can do a bow or whatever.
Well, yeah, just the foot length is driven by the leech and the LP, so you gotta look at that anyway. The LP, like they say, you could have 100% LP and the foot length is super long, but the clue's gonna be out there.
Which makes it range for you. So
but I think that's why I think stuff like this not going on a race days would get just being like get an idea of like what you're looking for setup, and then you're like fine tuning. And it's like, we need a little bit of power in this range. You're like, well, it feels mushy. Like what the sail should look like in a given range is pretty clear. Okay. And the sails are since it's a radial sail, there's a lot of seam shape in them, but they're pretty sensitive to halyard tension. So where the membrane sails, there's like only 5 seams in it. The sail's got 60 seams in it, and they're all shape seams. So like the entries are pretty full, and that's why I think it's really good and it makes a lot of difference. Like have the headstay stood up a little bit more.
Gotcha. All right.
So we want more stiffer headstay.
Stiffer headstay, yeah.
Just all the way across the board.
I'd say just like if I think you should be at this range, like maybe you should be in the next tuck up, especially in the flat water. Because what's really gonna happen is then you can shoot your sails harder, right? So if the headstay's not moving around and like everything's looking good, you can shoot your sails like shoot your main on harder, get the feel that way, rather than like trying to like sag everything off and then you just are not pointing. Because I'm guessing you guys weren't pointing. You're going fast through the water, just not that way.
Well, another qualification, Stefan, he's been on boats, but he's not a racer. We're building him into a racer. None of us are really great.
Well, I mean, we're all racers, but not
yeah. So we're working organically through the whole thing. So sails work, and you can give him some pointers too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I want to get
so this rig being too loose. Cat was having a hell of a time being able to keep the main powered up. They wanted to do a lot of left and flogging, right?
Yeah, the belly and left.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden the jib's sagging into this thing, and like maybe turn. And if the lead's too far forward, you're just going to blow the leech of the jib right into the main.
Well, it's definitely true. It was definitely up against the lifelines more than what we probably would normally see. But we were being shy about halyard basically not wanting to overdo it and trying to figure it out on Sunday.
I'm not quite sure with the backstay, like the marks that are there, and then like we have to pump. You said like 5 or 7 pumps. Like we got to pump a lot, but then we've also had problems with the hydraulics and that, and maybe not. And I can come fix it if they hasn't.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. So let's start up. Let's get out there.
Yeah, go for sale.
We can have some organic out there.
Yeah, it's those hydraulic rams. Don't let's see if they last forever. There's a guy in West Seattle, Lee Townsend. Take a look at what he's doing.
Yeah. He's got to be old as dirt now. Because
he's not that. I mean, he's not.
I worked with him when I first got out of college at First Bank. Really, he seemed like a wizened old man then. I was all at 22. I'll take it to him.
Yeah, he's like go with the guy. So, well, that's something. Okay, sure. I'll give you his number. I'll send it. All right. Yeah, Tony's we bring up one more. Me too. Okay. All the spring lines are off. Yeah. We went with 1 on 10 ready today. What's that? Oh, dude, it's all ready today. Practice day. Left one spring lines on. Stop. Oh yeah, we did that Artemis once. Like, ripped the whole power box off. That's a backwards momentum. Stop.
I have this right here. Okay. Am I seeing traffic?
Yeah. That's bummer about Tom. Hopefully,
yeah.
Something's happening.
So he wants to keep boat, and make sure it gets used.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing about boats. If you use it, dies.
Yep.
So that's what I think about the sail tie.
Yep. I noticed you had sail tied down. That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is actually really real. It's so faded. Yep, still just as loud as last time. Fred, is it on?
How warm it is. How warm it is.
He's not as active as Keith's chicken.
Is there a good, the bid's already I know we can
Yeah, they have dates. October. It's October. And we need instruments and radio on good.
Yeah, it's all much.
So,
A little stretch. Are you looking at the inverted or?
okay. Like it's got wrinkles.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put off.
And we get the pen and cam on. Guess we won't need it, but.
Turn this off so we can hear one another.
Did you get radio too, Butch?
Pardon?
Did you radio?
Pressure. You're right off the start buoy there.
Yeah, we can go there if you want. Or I was also looking down here by the adventurers.
Either way, there is a little bit of pressure.
Let's take close so it doesn't die.
Here, take that. Are you gonna keep that up there?
I think we put it down. Put it on the track table. I'll look for it there.
Yeah, last time we don't, we just think about gospel numbers. Yeah, they're kind of technical. Like technical. Same spot. This is
Side
when we're blowing. No, it's like every time we're throwing like it's hard around.
See that one?
Oh, yeah, we should measure.
I got a tape measure. Oh, like a. So the position not the same, you think? That expert here. I always had that suspicion of not having a. Okay, sorry, come back. Shoot. So I'll put it on like 33, 34 throwers.
Yeah, I like that.
This makes logical.
I think that'd be the
Yeah.
It's like 2 5 we were on, everything was weighing down and we were
Yep. Is that about 3 back? I think that's about 3 back there, but on the other
that
side.
looks pretty even top bottom. Maybe windy might go back a little more.
Well, I was trying to decipher the that tuning guide. And like in wind like this, it was starting at a 6. You know, I don't know if you're counting.
Oh yeah, don't look at those.
I figured.
That's a quantum thing. More of a rig tension.
Well, I was thinking it was the jib cars.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would think that's because that was from last tango. Those guys were getting very.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, really that.
Okay, so I'm at 33, 34. I can come up for.
And I try a little more main sheet.
Oh, look at that. That's definitely a lot flatter. Not a shape.
Now you're perfect.
Yeah.
Got right holding.
Yeah,
I got a shift, yeah. It's gonna be one of those days here. It's dying out, of course. Wind's dying for a second. 1 second.
Yeah, I think that's a good starting point for the lead.
We've been there our whole
Way too far forward. That you back three spots.
Yeah.
Right?
That'll flatten things out and depower a little bit, but at the same time, we don't experience like the ideal setup either.
But also it was funny because like I remember when we first rolled it out, it was like things like on the lifelines, right?
Yes. That was actually very, very much the case, and we're on our ear in like 15 to 17, which is unusual for this boat, or this type of boat. Sorry, this is just embarrassing.
Oh, it's not you. It's this breeze doing the surfer.
Yeah, pretty much.
You want to match the car, Butch?
I did.
Okay.
I've been over here.
Oh, free. Flip free.
Good stuff.
That happened 10 years ago.
We want to measure that or do it later?
That's a good question.
Because like I remember in stuff they flip cars backwards and forwards on one side, the tracks are not at the same distance.
No shit. Wow.
Oh, really?
Well, let's
Yeah,
check it
that
out.
could be a different.
I can see that.
Here.
They just pretty templates in it. Just kind of start drilling a hole.
That looks a lot better already. And then
Yeah,
what about
the
tension?
main is set up pretty nice.
What about jib tension right now, or heli tension? Like, we got some speed wrinkles, but
Right now it's okay. It's got a nice enough. The engine's not too knuckled up. When we tackle, okay, we'll play a little bit.
sure. Other side. It's the white. That's the main that's on there now. All right, let's
I think
go.
it's really good range.
So the other way. Move a little beach. Oh, we got a chip. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Sorry. Wait, that's better.
Yeah, I just don't think
You can say that, but just way too much.
I'm with you.
I know, right? I mean, once we get balanced, it should turn itself, right?
the entries can be pretty soft.
So you want this one flat and more kind of that main shape?
Yeah, I mean it's still pretty drop forward.
Yeah. Or usually see a little bit but with the car back, like,
Yeah, I think this is pretty. I mean, the leg is actually slightly tight for down range, but like,
Okay, so it is set up as
yeah,
180
it's
plus 2.
like zero gusting too, right? Yeah.
Weird.
It's actually all the way off.
Yeah. Okay, the wind shifting in northerly.
okay, so I'm going to get tight. We're going to see
Oh, yeah, it's flattening.
yeah,
180 turn right here. Sorry, we got a northerly shift now. Wow. Yeah, right here in 180 degrees.
okay.
So more sag, you get more power, you get less sag, it's flatter in entry. Okay. Right, so as it's a bit windier, you can pull this, and stay on, make the entry flatter, like that. And then when it's light,
There's around.
you can see now that change the drop position way forward. Use a little bit more power. So you want
So that must be northerly over there. Past Meadow Point.
yeah, it's about down, right? So having a big knock.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we,
one or the other.
let's motor over to Meadow Point. This is my.
Push right at middle point.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
The conversion.
That's usually
That works. Better than we had.
We call the converging zone.
Oh yeah, right there.
And lift your butt up for that.
Well, I can't tell.
No, I said,
I feel on my ears, and then when I look up, and of course,
slow down.
yeah, we're parents. Okay, so you guys want to reach and get into more of it, or?
Just go wind, yeah.
Okay.
I think just the brake walls creating that weird little history.
Yeah.
we have in a circle. We got new north sail. We were trying to ride down in. Like, no, wait, first we go up.
Yeah, we'll go higher up the wind.
I don't know if they just do that.
Look at that. Sweet. We're getting like 5 degrees more point already. Yeah.
That'd be probably a little half too far. Half, maybe a little bit. This piece.
So Alex, how about the spreader marks? Those are old, but have been kind of a north guide for a while.
I'm sorry.
The spreader.
You mean the grass stripes?
No, on the actual spreader.
Oh, yeah.
Usually we're at about the third, just right up there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this dude is like one hole too far.
Okay, we'll slide up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You see it's not even, it's like tighter than the bottom. Yeah, I think like that. I don't know where everyone has their tapes. I think just try to get that. Maybe the second, not your tack, maybe out the spreader tip. Yeah.
park there, and then as we build speed, bring it a little.
Okay, so we're 25 here in front of the light. Well, whatever the give us. It's dying out, so. Not the day for it.
Yeah.
Wanna go that way?
There's
See if we
one
know
over
what
there.
questions answered, whether we don't know what to answer, ask or not.
Yeah.
So in this light, would you still go with that tension on the main?
On the main halyard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely wouldn't go more.
Yeah.
Okay, so leaving it loose on light.
Yeah, because otherwise, this is good. Like you keep skiing, so it's like a dynamic explanation, right?
Put your weight on the downhill speed. Put your weight on the uphill speed.
So the main has a pretty nice soft entry right now.
That's yeah.
Knuckled up.
Yeah.
So it's really like it's overdone. And the starts to stand up, you twist. It's
Yeah.
all like
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
that's why you
Good.
can have more halyard on more Cunningham in the backstage. So it's coming on.
Yeah.
So yeah, pump a bunch of backstage.
Okay.
Just for education purposes.
So I'll go halfway to full.
Yeah, just not anything. Yeah, flatter and flatter and flatter. So also as you do that, the draft moves after, right? And that's when you start. Then you bring the halyard to the Cunningham.
Yeah.
It brings the draft back forward, back to like a more better spot.
How's that on sag? That's pretty tight.
Pretty straight. Yeah, go ahead and dump it back off.
Okay. That's all the way off.
So they have the halyard and the Cunninghams that kind of go with the sag. So
Yeah.
as you pull on halyard, you got to sail with the tighter head stay right.
Yeah, I need to come up before get a angle.
You know all that stuff. You gotta sit there.
Well, I think it's good to actually hear it.
So that's the problem.
To put words to it with you.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's what that is.
We're not that-
We're not. So that's
Yeah,
okay.
back to the second year saying.
Yeah.
That's what we do, right? Why?
Well, main was so stretched out too. It was kind of
Oh, yeah.
twisted.
Yeah, just put a touch of halyard on it so that it doesn't backstays all the way back off. Right?
Yeah.
All the way off. It seems like a lot of those guys, like when you sail back in the day, they would like sail the traveler and squeeze it all the way up.
Yeah.
Just for, I mean, it's really light, but
Oh, I actually did read that. Yeah, like on light days like this would be all the way up and then centered with the with the sheet.
yeah, the twist and like the feel now, because those are really hard to see in haulers.
Yeah.
They're really hard to get feeling when it's blowing really light.
Do you think that's a better way to go?
I mean, it seems like right all the way up.
We do actually. In the other trail, we did travel with a lot. Like when.
I think like once you get started, drop it down a little bit. And I just kind of always watch that, that once you start having travel going down, and then you start getting the bubble like you were getting today, then you have to start either bringing your jib car back. So it'll twist off the top of the jib, and it'll make the main setup. So the whole goal is like make the main not lock,
Yeah.
right? But like a little bit of bubble's fine. Then you start having travel down.
Yeah.
Like try, probably never really traveled all the way down, probably like here, and then you're just playing the jib lead to get it after that. And I think a lot of boats use the bang and the fine tune.
Yeah.
Once you're kind of like the traveler there, because the traveler goes to the leeward corner, the main's gonna flop.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of the game is like get the traveler down to like the bench,
Yeah.
and then the bang comes on a little bit. Then you start playing the fine tune, so you get the puff and just ease the fine tune, keep going on speed, and pull it back on. Because somewhere like traveler just slow.
Yeah.
It doesn't do a lot. Like when I get like a big puff,
Yeah.
it's like use traveler and go still keep rounding up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm using the main sheet.
Yeah.
But we're gonna adapt.
What are you doing, Stefan?
I made the window away. Do you like that?
We're just doing happy laps.
Well, we could go over by the buoy.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Check out the seals.
Check out the seal on the border.
Speed batteries. Yeah.
So,